Hi, Joel Johnson here, Money Wisdom Question and Answers. Today, here's the question we're answering, and it's a pretty popular one. Where's the best place to retire? Depending on where you live in this country, there is a narrative that goes on that says it's cheaper to live somewhere else. It's less expensive. The cost of living is lower to live somewhere else. You know what? Absolutely correct. Depending on where you are, it may be less expensive to live somewhere else. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about primarily the states in the Northeast, in the Northwest, and the California coast. The most expensive places to live in this country, if we factor in goods and services, especially taxes, and some of the other things like gasoline and so on, typically are up and down the west coast of the country, obviously Washington, Oregon, California, and the big states in the Northeast, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts. Very expensive to retire in those states. Now, the politicians in some of those states want to tell you, oh, well, it's more expensive, but you get better services. I would suggest to you that is not true. I think there's either an ignorance that goes on because people have never lived outside of those states, some of those politicians that are telling you that, or they just aren't necessarily forthright with the facts. The fact is, it's less expensive to live in Florida than it is in New York. It's less expensive to live in Texas than it is in Massachusetts. And Texas and Florida both have fantastic healthcare systems, great style of living, zero state income tax, and so on. So here's the big factor that we see as a financial planning firm primarily domiciled up here in the Northeast. Most of our clients live here in the Northeast. And what we see is that the reason people stay in the Northeast when they retire is maybe they like the change of seasons or they like the atmosphere up here, primarily because they have grandkids and children and they want to live close to those grandkids and kids and children. But if this is purely an economic decision, the states across the smile of the U.S., what do I mean by the smile? I mean Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Florida and Georgia, that smile across the bottom of the states, those tend to be much less expensive. And for the most part, services in many of those states are just as good. Healthcare is just as good as we would be getting here in the Northeast or in the Northwest or the West Coast. So hopefully this answers your question. So many different factors to consider here. But if it's just purely an economic cost, certainly you want to stay away from the big states in the Northeast and the states along the West Coast. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just telling you make sure you get all the facts so you can make a good decision. And obviously there are more factors than just finance. If you enjoyed this topic and you want to hear more, just click on the link.